Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden coming to you from the trails behind my house. Today I want to give you an update on how the season has been progressing for me and what my training looks like, my injuries, etc., and where I go from here. This past Sunday, now 2 days ago, I ran in the US Mountain Running Championships in Waterville Valley, New Hampshire. And that's a race that's been on my radar for 9 months. It's later in the year. Often the mountain running championships are in July. So I thought I'd have a lot of time to really prepare for this. So I wanted to go for it, but the way my Achilles has been going, it just didn't come together. I couldn't do the training that I wanted. So it was a last minute decision to even enter the race. Which turns out to be a good thing because I felt no pressure. It's probably the least nervous that I've ever been before a race. And it was kind of fun at the start talking to everyone and seeing their nervousness and asking them about their goals for the race or their strategy, and really feeling like a bystander more than a participant. So the gun went off and I ran a pretty smart race and discovered within the first 2 miles that I'm still pretty fit. Even though I haven't done the training that I wanted, I'm still decently fit. So I worked my way up into the third master's position in the race, which is a pretty big deal considering I'm 51 and masters start at 40. So those guys are quick. Anyway, I worked my way into third place and was feeling pretty good, but these climbs are relentless and I'm not a great climber unless I'm super well trained. So towards the 2/3 mark, my legs just really started to go, my lower legs. And then my Achilles just sent out a shock wave of pain, like a blast. And I thought, oh crap, that's not a tear, but it's not good. Maybe I should drop out of the race. So I ran a few more steps. It was hurting pretty bad. And I said, okay, we're done. I proved to myself that I'm in good enough shape. I don't need to finish to prove anything. So I just started jogging. And I noticed something really interesting. The moment that I gave up on completing the race, my body changed. Really fascinating. And this is something that I've been studying quite a bit lately. How the mind and how our stories about our body and reality change how our body feels. So the moment I gave up on the race, I got a different body. Not that this one actually changed, but that my body started giving me access to reserves that weren't previously accessible because it was no longer scared. Because the moment I worked my way up into third master and I could see 1 and 2 ahead of me, my brain said, you got to get those guys. And whew, but I'm in a lot of pain. And then when I realized that I couldn't get them, it started to freak out. It started to feel defeated. And we all go through this. We all have multiple voices in our heads that are constantly measuring us, especially if we're in some kind of athletic event. Anyway, the moment I quit, my legs felt fresh. Not because they suddenly got a boost of energy from somewhere. It's just that fatigue is an emotion. Fatigue is not a physical reality. It is an emotion created by the brain because the brain is scared that you're going to get hurt or die if you continue at this exertion level, because it doesn't know where the finish line is. That part of the brain doesn't understand time. It doesn't understand racing. It just understands certain chemical markers in the bloodstream that look like fight or flight. When it sees those chemical markers, it makes a prediction about the likelihood of your survival. Holy cow, those markers are through the roof. Holy cow, the heart rate is through the roof. Breathing is through the roof. It looks at all that data and says, this is not good. And it starts to put limits on you. So it creates this feeling of fatigue. And the moment that the fear went away, the moment that the trying to conquer the foe went away, my body changed its chemistry, and suddenly my legs no longer felt tired. Anyway, I picked it up. So the final third of the climb, I actually increased the pace, and I felt really good. I was just surprised the hell out of me. It was kind of fun because I was suffering moments before. And my Achilles stopped hurting too, which that was just good luck. I ended up hammering the downhill after that, catching the second place master at the finish line. I actually caught him with about a quarter mile to go, and he looked over and saw me, and he sprinted. So the final quarter mile, he and I were just in an all-out sprint. And I got my heart rate up to the highest that it's been in a race in a really long time, years. I got it up to 180, which at the age of 51, to have your heart rate at 180 in a race, that's really high. So I smoked myself to get him, and I got him by like 6 inches at the finish line. I can't wait to see those finish line photos. Anyway, so I finished second master and first 50 plus. So I'm the 50 plus US champion for mountain running. My fourth 50 plus national championship title this year, which is kind of cool. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot. So I'm going to keep experimenting and exploring my training, like what I'm doing right now, which is just walking. Has been a big part of my training. Most people would not even log this. It's walking, it's not running. But yet it's got me in really good shape. And I do lots of different kinds of walking. Different strides, different exertions, working hip flexors to get the leg out in front of me, or really pushing out the back to get the glute muscles engaged, or getting into like a half lunge position to do my Bigfoots, where I'm really smoking the quads and the glutes the whole time for miles. And that training has done me really well, and it's allowed me to keep going without snapping my Achilles, because running on the roads or just running in general leaves my Achilles screaming every single time, even if I'm running at a slow pace. So without these different types of walks that I've been doing, I wouldn't be able to train at all, at least not in a way that keeps me sane. I might be able to get on an exercise bike, but that drives me nuts. So this weekend coming up, I'm going to be running a mile, I hope. I'm going to try to lower my own American record. Again, no speed work, just doing lots of walking, and doing some vertical in the mountains, especially this race. That's going to make my legs real strong. But I'm super curious to see how fast I can get in the mile. How low can I go without doing speed work? I think I can get into the 430s. So that's the goal this coming weekend. And the mile race I'll be doing, and I'll keep you posted on that as it happens. But kind of fun to be getting older, training more gently, training slower, and still shaking it up at the top of my game. So that's what's going on. Let me know how you're training, what you're trying, what experiments you're engaged in, and I'll see you soon.